What up, boxing world? JF Sports. Supposedly, Keith One Time Thurman isn't the only one that thinks Errol Spence still needs better wins and grow up before he could actually get a shot at the true welterweight guys, right? Well, Danny Garcia said some things. He said Errol Spence is good. He's a young fighter making his way up in the division, making his way up there. However, he has to fight some good fighters to be an elite fighter. At least get punched in the mouth a couple times before you fight a big fight. That's what Garcia said. He said, to be honest with you, you have to face adversity. And he said to me, when a fighter faces adversity and wins, then he's ready for a big fight. He said you can never face adversity and never fight a top fighter than getting a title shot. Anytime you have a championship fight, you've got to face adversity before you can get to that point where you're actually ready. Now, you guys know Keith Thurman has been very vocal also about Errol Spence. He's not necessarily a fan of Errol Spence, moving up to the division or going up in the division, fighting elite fighters as of yet. Now, Errol Spence fought Van Herdeen. That was his last fight, which he won. I believe it was knockout on the 8th round. Now, a lot of people criticized Errol Spence for that fight. And I was like, I know I saw the fight, and I saw this article, and I said, you know what? Let me watch the fight again against Van Herdeen. Now, I'll put a link in the description of the Spence versus Van Herdeen fight, the full fight, and you guys can check him out if you want to. But yeah, I'm going to put the link in the description of the video. But anyway, so I watched the fight, right? And see, because for some reason, this is just human nature, right? That your last fight is what you're going to be remembered as, especially in the sport of boxing, right? You could do a lot of great things, are done well, impressive wins, knockouts, I mean, you name it, right? But your last fight, it seems like it's the one that sticks to people, right? So like I said, I watched the Van Herdeen fight, make my second assessment of the fight, so to speak. Now, I thought that Errol Spence was impressive. He landed a lot of good shots. He pretty much controlled the fight. Now, on the other hand, for Van Herdeen, it seemed like he was also landing some shots and to Errol Spence, and that Van Herdeen could actually take Errol Spence's power. I think it was on the second round there where Errol Spence landed a big left-hand shot. I mean, it was a big shot. And then Van Herdeen stood there, taunted Errol Spence like, oh, it's nothing. That was all you got. Did a little shake move there, and then Errol Spence countered with another body shot. But it seemed like he could take his punches, But I don't think that's the case here. I don't think that Garcia or Keith Thurman is basing it off as, Errol Spence is not a good fighter. I don't think that's the case. I think Garcia and Keith Thurman just want for Errol Spence to actually fight more. Kind of like pay your dues like they did before, I mean, Errol Spence at the moment, what is he? 18 wins, 15 KOs in his resume, right? No draws, no contest. He's 25 years old. He's moving up in the division, right? But yes, he hasn't really fought anybody. But the question is, at what point in your career do you actually get a shot? Especially if you've been knocking out your opponents. It's not like Errol Spence, has had some controversial wins, you know. I mean, he's knocked out 15 of his 18 opponents, you know. So, um, I'm confused. You know, to be honest with you, I'm confused of how and why Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman would look at Errol Spence as somebody that still need to grow, even though he he's been dominating all his opponents. Well, you know, some of his opponents aren't really solid fighters, so to speak, but who hasn't fought a fucking bum? You know what I mean? I mean, everybody's fought a bum, right? But I'm confused because I thought that when I looked at social media and look back at the comments and people are saying about the Spence versus Van Herdeen fight, you know, people said, "Oh, Spence wasn't that impressive. He actually got hit a lot. You know, he didn't really hurt Van Herdeen, especially Van Herdeen not really being a solid competitor." Well, I looked at Van Herdeen's resume. It's not such a bad resume. He's got a pretty decent resume. You know what I mean? It was decent. It wasn't like great, but it was decent. But I don't know, man. I mean, the question is Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman just hating on Errol Spence? I don't know, man. I understand the issue with Mayweather wanting Keith Thurman to fight Errol Spence versus Mayweather himself fighting Keith Thurman. I understand that of why Keith Thurman said what he said of, give me $10 million and I'll fight Errol Spence, or Errol Spence hasn't really fought anything. I mean, it was also out of somewhat upset, anger. Keith Thurman, you kind of like putting me down. I'm trying to fight you, Mayweather, and then give me somebody like Errol Spence, a very young guy, hasn't really fought anybody. I kind of got that. I get what he was coming from. But as far as Danny Garcia goes, Danny Garcia just now actually just moved up at 147 recently, and fought Paulie Malignaggi, which he didn't knock down nor knock out. Danny Garcia also has an undefeated record. Now we're talking about three guys here: Spence, Thurman, and Danny Garcia that are all undefeated, right? But yes, Thurman, 147. He's 147. He's fought some good fighters, and he's won some impressive fights. But as far as Danny Garcia, he's really fought at 140, and that's where he was impressive. I'm not judging him yet, as far as his fight with Paulie Malignaggi, because hey, I know, get it, give him benefit of the doubt. Paulie Malignaggi hasn't fought in a long time. He's washed up. Blase squaze, right? Got it. So I'd like to see more of Danny Garcia as well. So what makes Danny Garcia so special than Errol Spence that Danny Garcia could just, because there's some rumors out there that Danny Garcia is trying to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao, or Danny Garcia is trying to actually fight with Sean Porter or somebody like, what is it, Bradley. So what makes Errol Spence and Danny Garcia really different, besides the fact that Danny Garcia has more fights and has actually hit titles and stuff, and I mean, that's the only difference I can see. But as far as potential competitiveness, I think if Errol Spence and Danny Garcia get inside the ring together, I think it'll be a competitive fight. I think it'll be a tough fight for Danny Garcia than Paulie Malignaggi. That's for damn sure. And through the grapevine, supposedly Errol Spence knocked down, or if not knocked out, Adrian the Problem Broner in the sparring session. That's through the grapevine. So I mean, the kid Errol Spence, I know he's young, he's upcoming, he's got potential, he's got a lot of potential. But on the other hand, I really think, in my own opinion, I really think that Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia just want Errol Spence to actually pay his dues. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk type of stuff before you can crawl, and crawl before you can run, right? That type of analogy. So, but I think Errol Spence, need to be tested. You know what I'm saying? I think his next fight, I think Errol Spence's next fight should be with somebody. That's tough. Let's see. Somebody that's solid, but not as solid, if that makes sense. Not somebody that's okay fighter, not like Paulie Malignaggi. I think fucking Errol Spence will fucking annihilate Paulie Malignaggi. But I think let me see. I'm trying to think of somebody that's actually could test, so to speak, Errol Spence without actually making Errol Spence look like a rookie. Somebody that's not too solid but solid enough. Let's see, 147. I wouldn't say Sean Porter just yet. I don't think so. And the only really fighter that comes to my mind is Danny Garcia. Brandon Rios, Alvarado. I'm not gonna match. I wouldn't match Errol Spence with like Matisse or fucking Maidana, or better yet with Bradley. Even though I think that if Errol Spence fights Bradley, I think it will be a competitive fight because Bradley makes a lot of rookie mistakes, and he's now recently just changed his trainer to Teddy Atlas. So. But Bradley having the resume, this is about ego. You know what I mean? Having the resume that Bradley has, I don't see the fight. I don't see Bradley taking that fight against Errol Spence. And damn sure, obviously, Keith Thurman is not gonna take that fight. He's not gonna be the first guy at 147, solid top 5, whatever, that is gonna give Errol Spence that chance. If anything, it'll be Danny Garcia, right? But Danny Garcia said Errol Spence is not ready. You know what I'm saying? He's not technically resume ready, so to speak. As a fighter ready, I think he is. But as a resume ready, that's when it comes to play. 147 other than Danny Garcia, that's somewhat solid, but not too solid. Man, I can't say Kell Brook, obviously. That'd be ludicrous. And obviously, Manny Pacquiao's out the question, right? Damn. I could only think of Danny Garcia, man. As far as somebody that's actually going to test Errol Spence. But no, Danny Garcia don't want to take that fight. He's just going to fight some more. So, with that said, I can't even think of who's going to fight. You guys let me know. You guys drop a comment, and let me know who you think Errol Spence should fight next. However, I think that Errol Spence just going to keep fighting bumps then, and then he's going to keep getting criticized, right? You guys know Errol Spence is a southpaw, so he's got that vicious left hand that he throws every now and then, and he does throw some hard punches. It's just that I think Van Herden in their fight, he was, he didn't perform quite impressive as he did in the past, if that makes sense. It's still impressive. It still was a 8 round KO, but I guess that second round taunt there from Van Herden really threw people off or make people think that hey, I guess Errol Spence didn't punch that hard after all, right? So, but yeah, man, Errol Spence, who the hell are we going? If he's not gonna fight out of those fighters at 147 that I just mentioned, it's gonna have to be some bumps. You know what I mean? It's gonna have to be some bumps after bumps, and it's gonna be like fucking 30-0, right? And without any type of solid resume, so to speak, solid opponents. So I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy right now. Like, I'm not disagreeing as far as Danny Garcia's analogy of he still needs to grow and fight, elite fighters, and that's also from Keith Thurman. I'm not disagreeing on that, but also I'm curious of what it is or who it is really they want Spence to fight. Other than the guys I've already mentioned. Somebody solid. There's a lot of bumps at 147. You guys know that, but we don't want to see Errol Spence because it's not gonna test him. It's not gonna put an exclamation point on Errol Spence if he fight those bumps. I'm not. I wouldn't like fucking put Jose Vargas against Errol Spence. I mean, I think Errol Spence would beat him. I mean, he's not somebody that's because Errol Spence is like what, 5'9", long reach, so he's kind of tall. A lot of fighters at 147s are like 5'6", 5'7", right? So 5'9", he's kind of tall. Damn. I'm gonna have to look back and go do my research on who can we match Errol Spence with in order for somebody like Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman to say, you know what, he's ready. You know what I mean? Or for the public, so to speak, for the public's reception to actually accept Errol Spence as ready to fight somebody like Thurman and Garcia and Bradley and those cats, right? So, well, let me know what you guys think about Errol Spence and what we've just talked about. If you guys want to see again the fight of Errol Spence versus Van Hardeen, I'll put the link in the description. It's full fight video link, and you guys check him out. And as always, let me know what you guys think. Drop me a comment, like, comment, and subscribe. JF Sports. Thanks for watching.